Your face isn't showing.
Okay, if you want to adjust it, that'd be great.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Sweet.
You want me to know?
Perfect.
No.
Okay.
Are we good?
Yeah, we were just testing something if I can pan and it doesn't
Sure.
look like it.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I just tried to pan it and then it was.
It didn't work.
So,
Okay.
I'll just
Oh
keep-
no, those are audience cookies. So you just pass them around.
Okay.
Marvin, did you get an audience cookie?
No.
We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
They're delicious.
Okay. Okay.
So.
Yeah, so when we get the guest on there, we'll add them.
Alright, so if you're ready, give me a second to take the music out. And
Okay.
Alright. Rebecca, just real quick, Becca, did you make these?
Yeah.
What the shit? These are like the moistest ones. What the shit?
It's butter.
She made it.
Yeah.
I don't do sweet things. I do not do sweet things. I'm just gonna put this out right now. Good job. You made me go for a second. I feel like that deserves a round of applause.
The pavlova that she made.
You need to see Diana's first clip from the show. We fed her lemon sugar cookies, which are a little different than this. But yeah, she waxes rhapsodic about her love of
These
wheat and my
cookies.
cookies. These cookies.
I'm reliving it now.
Like, I don't do sweet things. I don't do sweet food. Like, I don't. That was fucking ridiculous. Like, take a bow.
Welcome to 420, man. Welcome to 420.
We ready?
yeah, you're rolling.
Sweet. Well, welcome to Fat Chicks on Top.
Yeah.
Woo! This is my body positive, fat positive podcast. We're coming for the people on YouTube. We're coming live from Stab Theater here in Sacramento. They're a great space, so if you get a chance, check them out. Check out all their shows. Thank you for the audience for showing up. You're awesome. If you tuned in early, people are eating cookies because we give the audience cookies every month. Because I believe people should eat cookies, and we give our people cookies so we eat on camera and everybody gets comfortable watching people of all sizes eat. Because I'm fat and I like to eat, and I don't like people staring at me in public, so I'm big on normalizing it.
Am I fat?
Huh?
Am I fat?
No, I don't think you're fat.
I'm husky, am I? I'm husky.
You're maybe fat with a PH.
Yes.
With a CH.
You took my line.
So tonight we have my co-host and my producer extraordinaire, Sharon Smith. He just beat Marvin in a poetry slam.
Champion.
Yes, one of our guests.
Champion.
He was throwing down,
Champion.
throwing out lines in verse and.
Am I
well,
Friend of me. Friend of me. I love you.
we do love you, Marvin, and we'll have you on the show
Friend of me.
because you do great food poems. So we are filming on 420. The audience is clearly happy with 420. So, and it's also Easter weekend and Passover. There's all sorts of stuff going on. People are like, oh yeah, that's their religious thing.
So if you haven't seen it, you gotta get on Snoop Dogg's Instagram. He's in an Easter bunny outfit. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yes. So are you doing anything to celebrate 420 or Easter or Passover?
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, my Good Friday, I actually DJ'd in El Dorado Hills, and I did disco night. Funny thing is, I hate to say it, but white people have a different theme about disco night. I never thought that was a thing, but they really do. And then you got the older people that are like, yo man, where's the Bob Seger? I'm like,
Because you know Bob Seger's disco.
then you got the young people going, I'm not sure if this is disco, but you know what I mean, like Prince and Madonna? It's like, that's like 82, like 81. It's like, hey, do you still have it? Yeah, then play it. I got one guy screaming at me go, yo man, you have Timbaland? Timbaland's 95, but do you have Timbaland? I don't think I can play Timbaland. Play some Timbaland.
So yes, we've been having conversations about weird things white people do.
There's a show out on Fuse called white people shit. Seriously, this comedian is basically having a moment of going to these people. Basically, this guy was actually an artist, a chainsaw artist, cutting up wood, making art. And the guy was, what the fuck? Making all this wood and art. And I was like, wow. And he actually added one of these other people this glass blower, and he actually asked them, can we make pipes? She's like, yeah, what do you want to make? It's like, I can't. Crack pipe? Okay, make a crack pipe. They're making crack pipes. How the hell are they making crack pipes?
He's been very confused by it. Since we talk a lot about food, though, on this show, we've been talking about white people food. And I ruined Sharon's world when I introduced him to Jell-O salads. For those of you who are not familiar with this. And I had to prove to him it wasn't just some shit I was making up, that I had a cookbook with an entire chapter on Jell-O salads.
I want to say something here. I want to know for our white audience here. I know some of you are older too. Who knows the song "Afternoon Delight"?
Yeah!
He didn't know it. I told him to play it, the disco thing, and drove people crazy. He's like, I don't understand. But no,
I lost their mind.
I introduced him to the concept of Jell-O salads, and including the one that Nan and I have been served by people in Idaho. That's lime Jell-O with canned peas and pineapple in it, and then it has a mayonnaise dressing on it.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
So yeah, I've taken him down this road. There's definitely differences in food cultures.
There's a cookbook with this recipe, and this is their salad. This is their vegetable salad.
There wasn't a single salad in there that didn't require at least a cup of mayo. And these are like the springtime recipes. It was amazing.
I thought fruitcake was bad, goddamn.
But yeah, I mean, we explore a good amount of food because it's a way of bonding.
Oh yes.
It's a way.
Oh yes. Speaking of bonding, so our second date, we went to Who knows tacos? Who knows tacos?
Here in town, the Korean taco place.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we went over to tacos to eat. So I basically bought. I bought some kimchi. I bought some kimchi egg rolls, and then I bought some other stuff. There's 3. I'm like, I get my first one, and she goes, I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm like, oh, this is good. I get ready to look at the next one. It's already gone. She's over there with it. Like, yeah, and what? Yeah, I did it. It's like, really? You gotta just go eat the egg roll right in front of me? Yeah. It was good.
I believe in eating. I mean, clearly, it's not an issue for me. But no, you should enjoy food. You should love food.
Yes, that's that love that.
We have agreed though that if you ever do wedding vows, one of them will be I have to split the 3rd egg roll. Shit's going into some wedding vows.
Not even half. God, whole thing. And then looked at me like, yeah, I did it. I said, I bought that. I was like, it's something.
So we have some great people on the show tonight. We've got Becca Henry, who's a comic from San Francisco. We've got Diana Hong, and we've got Robert Barry.
Yeah!
So we actually got 3 comics tonight. It's fucking great for 420. I actually stayed sober for the show because I do not process weed well. I have a tolerance that my long-term stoner friends admire because of a jacked up liver. So like edibles, 5 milligram edible will have like a 6-hour hang time. And I'm hella stoned. So I have to stay sober tonight. I will not stay sober after the show. But I will stay sober tonight. So first to the stage, I'm going to invite up Becca Henry. We'll get her on the mic here.
Do I need a microphone? Normally I'm loud enough without one.
Yes, but we're also recording this. And get up on it.
Like this.
Yeah.
Right here.
Oh,
This is good.
Wow. I like this. already.
How are we on levels? We're good? Okay. So, Becca she's a comic from San Francisco.
Yes.
She hosts burlesque shows.
I do.
And she has cleavage that you can lose an arm in for 127 hours. She actually does quite a bit of comedy about.
I do. I was actually just talking to somebody about this last night because when I very first started doing comedy, I didn't talk about my boobs. Just because it was, I mean, it's obviously my identifier. It's literally the first thing everyone notices about me. So I was like, do other things. And all of these comedians were like, no, you have to talk about your boobs. Everyone's looking at them, you have to address them. And I was like, okay. And so then I realized, one, there's so much material there. Like, there's just so much.
It's literally raw.
There's so much material there, literally. And it's cathartic as fuck to talk about them. And so I started doing all of these jokes about them. And then all these people, like, you talk about your boobs too much. And I was like, are you kidding me? Right? You all can choke in a bag of dicks. So now I just talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about.
Well, it's interesting, you bring that up. When I started doing stand-up, one of the things people told me is, you cannot look like I do and be 6 feet tall, in heels, on stage, and not address your looks.
And wear a corset.
I mean, I got props. I did.
Rock on it.
Right. But yeah, I mean, especially as a woman, I think there's a real pressure to address looks.
And there's something to it, and like that I've realized in doing it is that by addressing it myself, I take control of the conversation, and that's really powerful. Like, especially as a woman and as someone who's been on the shitty end of a lot of situations, it feels really good to be able to take control of that. And so now it's kind of a free-for-all, and I just let people, you're just gonna have to listen to me talk about my boobs. But I mean, literally everyone loves boobs.
Yeah.
Literally, everyone loves boobs.
Well, and I found with burlesque, it's really hard to bomb if you have your tits out.
Oh my god. I actually have a bit about that because I did, the last time I hosted burlesque, it was like this whole weekend, and I stayed with one of the dancers who's a friend. Like, literally all I did for the entire weekend was burlesque. That was my whole life. And then at the end of the weekend, I like had to go back to my normal life, and I kind of just like looked down and was like, what do I do now? Do I just like put them away? Like, I don't because I work for a CPA firm. Like, I can't have them out at work.
Right.
I've been told that. So, but it was like this thing that like, in burlesque, like if you mess up, literally all you have to do is show more boob. And nobody cares. Or like bend over strategically, nobody cares if your mic pack fell off. If you're just, and so, but you can't do that in everyday life. Like at the office, like if I like file the wrong tax form, I can't just like, I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way. And it was a struggle coming back to everyday.
Well, even compared to stand-up.
Right.
You can't. Yeah. I mean, you could just flash your kids.
Right, like at my joke bombs, and I'm just like, here's a boob. I'm not above it.
I don't know if human resources can take that, but
So, as when people grow up and you start getting tits, right? We all do at some point, right? They appear.
They do.
What type of messaging did you get around?
Oh my god. It was awful because I was 12 years old and I was a 34D.
Wow.
Yeah. Like they literally appeared overnight. I hit puberty real early. And it was just like one day I was like, what's happening? And I did not want them.
No.
I did not want them. Like at all. It was so horrifying.
In junior high, it's awful to.
It was terrible because there's no winning. Like you can't. And I grew up in the church, and there's a lot of shame associated with bodies in general in the church, but especially sexual bodies. And if you have an hourglass figure, it doesn't matter if you're 12. You're sexual, whether you were trying to be or not. And so the message that I got around them was that I'm a horrible person. And so I started wearing men's clothes. Like I would just wear my dad's clothes all the time. But then people were like, you look fat. And I was like, that was like the worst thing about all that. So then I tried wearing clothes that fit me. And then they're like, you're a whore. And I was like, I'm 12. I don't know what to do with this. So it was a long road to the happy, bouncy, jiggly person you see right now.
So what got you to that spot where you can really embrace them?
It took a long, I mean, honestly, like, it was, like, years, and it was lots of different factors. One of the biggest factors I attribute that to is, honest to God, Renaissance art. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a friggin' Titian painting, like, come to life. And so the first time I saw, like, Reuben and Titian and, like, those kind of paintings, I was like, those women have round bellies and big boobs and, like, look like me. And it was genuinely, like, this really, like, because I grew up in the era where it was, you know, like, dirty Christina, who was, like, this big, and, like,
Right.
these, like, bubblegum, blonde, thin pop stars was what was idealized, and I've never been that. And so then to come across, like, visual art that represented, like, what I looked like was really powerful. And then it was a whole, you know, force of contributing factors after that.
Well, and the representation is really important.
It
It's
is.
hard to see yourself as sexy and powerful if you don't see that reflected in art.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And the media, too, unfortunately. I mean, it sucks, but that's such a thing. And it's, I was actually just thinking about this the other day, about how, like, now you have, like, the thickstagrams and, like, the
Right.
thick models, and, like, that's becoming more of a thing. But it's almost more annoying that way, because you can't tell, like, who genuinely just, like, appreciates your body and who is, like, on this, like,
Fetishizing that.
yeah.
Hashtag plus size.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's like, it's just this weird, like, world of that. And then you have, it's just, there's no winning, I guess. Like, as a woman, especially, like, you know, are supposed to embody all of these things at the same time, and like, it's not physically, like, I feel like we're supposed to be a fucking chimera. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, have all these body parts at the same time.
See,
And
I
it's still
think
gonna
of
tell
it more
you.
as Mr. Potato Head.
Oh, yeah.
You're much more elegant than I'm just thinking.
Just like one button, and then you, like, put
Pop.
the pieces in. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's accurate. It's accurate.
So, do you find representation of women who look like you? Do you have places you go to find that type of representation now?
Yes, Instagram really is a source for it, but you kind of have, like, I feel like there's the authentic and the inauthentic, and so, like, one of my favorite bloggers, she goes by Fuller Figure, Fuller Bust. She's British, and I really like her because she's just fully candid. Like, she's so candid about everything. Like, she doesn't candy coat anything. Like, she just talks about her body and, like, how real it is. And, like, we have really similar figures. We wear the same bra size. Like, and so it's nice because when she, like, I've bought, like, I have articles of clothing that I've bought because she had them and they looked good on her. And I was like, oh, maybe they'll look good on me too. And so there's definitely that kind. And there's more retailers who are catering to that now. Like, Torrid is getting bigger and bigger, and they have, and, like, this jumpsuit is from Torrid. And, like, Fashion Nova, I know it's, like, this weird Instagram phenomenon, but they genuinely have clothes that are cute and fit. And so I spend so much of my time on those sites that, like, the only models I ever see anymore look like me, and it's dope.
Well, and it's empowering to see people who look like you.
It really is. And part of it, I think, is just that for so long it wasn't the norm and it wasn't in the media, and so now, like, just seeing it is just like, oh, these are bodies, you know, and just the campaigns of, like, literally everybody, because I also don't like when things fluctuate too far in the other. I don't like skinny shaming either. Like, it just fucking let us live. Jesus goddamn fucking Christ. Jesus.
Ain't gonna
Like,
happen.
What?
Ain't gonna happen.
I know. So I'm gonna keep yelling about
There you
it.
go.
So you talk about buying clothing. One of the hardest things to do when you're larger is find sexy bras
Yes.
that are over a D cup.
Yes.
Because you know, there are stores that they claim they're secret, but everybody knows about them. They're the worst kept secret in the world. Quit at a D.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. I remember going into Victoria's Secret when I was in high school, I was a 34 triple D, and they don't go past a double D.
Right.
And I tried to wear the bras, and I got that really uncomfortable like fore boob that happened. You know, it was like boob. And
You start getting the six-pack like but in your tits.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Which isn't cute. Like it's not. Even though it's cleavage, it still looks so weird. Anyways, and so I just went in to buy underwear, and this girl that worked there was like, "Oh yeah," because I think they got commission when they like sold their like new bras or whatever, and she was like, "Oh, buy this bra," and I was like, "I can't," and she was like, "Why not?" And I was like, "Because you don't make it in my size," and she was like, "Yes, we do," and I was like, "No, really, you don't," and she was like, "Well, what size are you?" And so I told her, I was like, 34 triple D, and she's like, "No, you're not." I just got fitted. I am. And she's like, "Let me fit you. I'll do it properly." Which she didn't,
Right.
BTW, because she literally just did it over my shirt, like standing there. But she was like, "Oh yeah, you are." And I was like, "I fucking told you." And then she was like, "Yeah, we don't make anything in that size." And I was like, "I know."
Well, and the thing is, when they get up to that size, it's industrial.
It's fucking structural engineering.
Right?
Required.
And it's like black and beige. Like,
Yeah.
the colors are
And they
not
come up to here, and the straps are this wide. Like, it's insane.
rebar underneath for underwire. Yeah.
And the only brands that do make decent bras in this size are either British or European. That's it. I know of no American brands that make them in this size. But there is a boutique in Oakland and San Francisco that is called A Revelation Fit. Shout out. If there's any busty ladies listening, go there. I learned about them in line at a gay club in Reno. This other woman was like, "Oh my god, we're like boob twins." And I was like, "Yeah."
Is it awful that I'm thinking you learned it from a drag queen? When you said club in Reno, I'm like, of course it's got to be a drag queen.
Wait, it surprisingly was not a drag queen.
Yeah, no, I was completely shocked that you said it. I'm like, wait, what? We're not in the same bars in
I know.
Reno.
I mean, there were drag queens there.
Right.
It just wasn't a drag queen that told me about it. It was a woman who also had really big boobs. But yeah, it's a struggle, and they're so expensive.
Oh my god, yeah.
They're so expensive.
It's a large investment.
Oh, like for real. People are like, "Oh, what are they, like $50?" I'm like, "Fuck you. If I could find a bra in my size for $50, I would do a goddamn handstand. I would die."
The last cute bra I had, I was wearing one day, and I'm like, oh, it's feeling tight. It fucking hulked on me. It split down the middle, it popped open.
I have had so many bras where the underwire snaps right here.
Oh yeah, the
Just
underwire
snaps
just
in
stabs you in the heart.
Just the metal that is designed to hold your boob up just snaps in half, and you're like, "Ah!"
You're at work, you're like, oh my god.
I've been stabbed. Yeah, it's like that scene in the cartoon Robin Hood when she like pretends to be stabbed. That's how I reacted. Like, "Oh, you got me!" It's terrible. I know.
Killed your god.
Being a woman is really hard. People don't understand.
I thought it was just jock strap for bad.
No.
They don't have metal.
Right? That snaps and stabs.
Stabs you in the balls, yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. Anyways.
He's done for the night now. It's had everything. You just killed
I have an effect on men a lot. Let me tell you about a thing.
Well, we've got some standard questions we always ask on the segment of the show. So the first one is, do you have a go-to munchie?
I do. It's either chicken tenders,
Uh-huh.
because I'm a child, or any kind of fried chicken, and or like thick cut potato chips.
Mm-hmm.
You got tater tots?
Fuck yes, I like tater tots. I'm a human.
She's the one.
Yeah.
Tater tots are fucking awesome.
Yes.
Thank God you don't have to get them in kindergarten anymore.
No, just it's like a thing now. So many places are like, "Ooh, tater tots," and I'm like, "Yes."
I do tachos, where you use the tater tots and then all the nacho toppings on them.
Yeah.
So good.
Where the heck's that?
Huh?
Where the heck's that?
I make them.
What you made?
I did.
You didn't make it tonight.
I didn't make them tonight.
Sorry.
I had pancakes tonight.
She had a big stack of pancakes and just
I love
tore that
pancakes.
crap out. I was like, what the heck?
Do you put peanut butter on them?
Not tonight, but yeah,
that's
that's
best. Peanut butter on pancakes. So good.
What is the worst piece of advice anyone's ever given you?
The worst
Probably
advice I
gross
think I
now.
ever got, I was told when I was like 13 years old that if I ever wanted to have a boyfriend, I needed to dumb myself down and lose weight.
Ooh, that is horrible advice.
Yeah, terrible. terrible.
And why would you dumb
You
yourself?
should see my DMs.
But if you dumb yourself down, you get a dumb dude.
Exactly. I mean, they're all dumb, but
You don't want a dumb dude.
Yeah.
He won me over with poetry.
That's that good.
You know, it was about getting laid by a Jewish girl on Christmas, but hey, we connected.
that's beautiful.
True story.
I know.
I still remember the day. Memories.
Oh, magic.
Well, this wasn't her. It's just like.
I'm not Jewish. What is one thing everyone should try?
One thing that I think everyone should try is getting a past life reading. Whether or not you believe in them, it's fascinating. It's so interesting.
Really also.
Because I feel like, I don't know how deeply I believe in these things, but I do find them really interesting. And so I feel like even if you don't believe that it's real, the amount of emotional intelligence and insight it requires for that person, because they, like, even if they're a charlatan, quote unquote, they still have to read you really well to be able to pick out these things. Because it was like, like I walked away just like I felt like I had like seen the universe. We're just like, yeah, it was dope. Yeah, so I recommend it.
So, in the risk of putting me into the crazy white lady den,
Too late.
I worked with this great energy healer. She actually did.
My reading turned into like an energy healing or whatever, and it was great. Like, I don't care what you believe or who you are. If you find something that feels good, do it, and fuck everyone else.
So I've been working with her because I was not having luck in the traditional medical system. I'd given up on them. And she goes, well, I want to do this past life reading. And I'm like, that's some crazy bullshit. That's like some Shirley MacLaine, like trying to deal with shit in this life with an excuse, right? But you've been good on everything else. I'm going to suspend my disbelief and just tell you I believe in this shit so you can do your thing and we can feel good about it. So she does this whole reading. We do some work around it. She's like, okay, go take a nap and then drink some water. And like, it was this really intense reading. And I wear a bite guard at night because I grind my teeth. So I took a nap and I didn't wear it, but that night I went to put on and it didn't fit. So I had to go back to my dentist and my teeth had shifted. And the past life reading had to do with getting my jaw hit. And he's like, were you in an accident? I'm like, oh, motherfucker, I'm going to have to believe in past lives. No, I'm crazy. Like, I had to have it recast because it didn't fit anymore. I'm like, oh, that's freaky.
Yeah,
like,
they know things.
They do. It's crazy.
You thought voodoo was bad. White people stuff.
And the last one is, what are you grateful for?
I think I'm genuinely most grateful for all. This is gonna sound so cheesy, but I don't care because it's genuine. It's like strong women, like whether I like them or not. You know what I mean? Like maybe they rubbed me the wrong way. I feel like I always learn something from them, whether it's about life in general or about myself. But like, and I had a moment recently where I realized like I just continually like find them in my life, and it changes things in my life, and I know I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for all of.
Oh, so strong women you connect with.
Right, just in some capacity.
I thought you had like some kind of refrain, like I don't like strong women. I was like, okay.
No, I love them. Even if I hate them, I love them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I would like, even if I don't like them, I respect that like that. But for the most part, yeah, just.
So Wonder Woman is your girl. One Woman is your.
Yeah.
Go-to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
What's wrong with Supergirl? Come on, man. What's with that?
I'm,
Batwoman. What the heck?
they're all strong women. I like them all. I'm not picking just one. I like all of them. I can have them all.
There you go.
Well,
I want it all.
I like her.
So, if people want to find you, if they want to go to your show, if they want to
Yes.
work with you, how do we find you?
I post all my show stuff on my Instagram, which is at BEEHENRY, B Henry. I'm in San Francisco, but I'm going to be on the Invisible Disabilities show at Sacramento Punchline on May 26th, which is going to be dope.
Yep.
So you can find me there, and anything else I'm doing will be on my Instagram.
So you just like we were kind of looking for you. We're like, she's only on Instagram. What the heck?
I know. I'm working on building other things, But Instagram's so easy to use.
Really?
That's what I use for the most part. I need to get better at Twitter. I don't fully understand Twitter, but it's such a good medium for entertainment purposes. I'm working on it.
It is. Well, thank you so much for being on the
Thank you
show.
Awesome. She's awesome.
She is.
Cookies.
Wait, and Amanda has the cookies. She can pass them
At
out.
work.
What's cookie? One cookie. It's
You
the berry.
can have the last cookie.
Last cookie.
No. Does anybody want the cookie? I don't want to take away from you.
Is there weed in it?
No.
Never weed in these.
I'll take it.
I don't know the cake about it.
Here, Marvin, have the loser cookie.
Yeah,
Marvin goes for 3
I
cookies.
will have the goddamn loser cookie.
Take the loser
I'm
cookie.
still bitter about that one.
Yes.
Oh my god, I had the best cream this week. And I came up with nothing erotic. But I was really excited because I woke up with a recipe for cookie nachos. And I'm convinced I need to do them this weekend. So you use like shortbread cookies, like the chips with a thinned out ganache, and then you top it with sesame candies and candied nuts and little meringues. I am so making cookie nachos this weekend. I've been fantasizing about cookie nachos since I've had that
I don't know
dream.
why I'm mad. I'm the one that experienced it. Yes.
Is there mayonnaise on cookie nachos?
No mayonnaise on cookie nachos.
Take mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise and peas?
Oh my god, they came up with the mayonnaise thing. It's been going
Here we
around the
go.
internet. It's the Cadbury cream egg inside flavored mayo.
Stop.
I'm like hella mad that exists in this
Fuck
world.
that.
Yes.
So coming up to the stage next, our other co-host is right. We'll bring it up in a minute. Wendy. Come have a seat. She's left Sacramento. And she's back for a day. We're gonna bring up Diana Hong.
Woo!
She's
안녕하세요.
thrilled to be back in Sacramento.
안녕. 안녕하세요.
Yeah,
Yes.
back, I guess.
She's a comic.
Allergies telling me I'm here.
She cut her teeth here in Sacramento. She's now down in the LA area.
South.
Working hard. You've been touring, right?
I mean, I've been driving a lot.
Well, that's most of it.
I got to go to Indianapolis. That was cool. I had a couple shows over there. That was a lot of fun. Surprisingly fun.
Was it your first time in Indianapolis?
It was my second time. The first time I went there for the World Series of Comedy, and they had it at Florence, Indiana. But this is the first time I was in a legit city in Indiana, so that was exciting.
Are there legit cities in I've never been. What?
Indianapolis is pretty cool. There's actually a really cool queer scene, which, I mean,
That's surprising.
there's gays everywhere, so of course in the middle of like nowhere, there's gonna be like the gays are like more centralized and they know how to party. So that was a lot of fun. I almost died.
How?
Okay.
Because no one knows how to drive there, and I'm pretty sure my Lyft driver was drunk.
That's not good.
Because like he picked me, I had to go to, he picked me up from the hotel, and I had like a 6 a.m. flight, so he had to pick me up at like 4 in the morning. So he picks me up, and like he just parks the car and opens the trunk, and I'm like, okay, well he doesn't have to, he didn't get out to help me put my bags in. I'm like, that's not like a requirement, like I'm not a princess, but like it would have been nice, but I didn't really think about it. So I just put my bag in, close the trunk, I get in the car, I sit in the back seat, he gets out of the car, and then takes a water bottle and washes his face with it. And I know that fucking move. So I start freaking out. And then he gets back in the car. And so when I get in the car, he's playing Cardi B. And about 3 minutes into our drive, he switches to the Jesus station. And I'm just like, I'm going to die listening to Jesus. Because he's like swerving. But it's like also Indianapolis just has really bad potholes. Like Indiana, I guess, just had really bad pothole problem because of the weather. And so, like, you can't tell if he's just, like, a terrible driver or if it's, like, the potholes, so I can't assume anything. But he was, like, braking and, like, doing all that weird shit for a while. I'm just like, I'm gonna die. I don't know why I just didn't want to say anything. Like, I just kind of was like, well, if I go out, I go out. I'm just gonna listen to Jesus music. I'm hoping this is gonna protect me for So we made it, and I was like kind of pissed off, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna tip him. But so since I didn't tip him, I gave him 2.5 stars. Because I didn't want to be like a complete asshole, like, because I can't prove that he was drunk. And so I got home, and my girlfriend Kayla was just like, are you fucking serious? Like, why 2.5? And I was like, because I didn't tip him. Like, I can't be a complete monster.
Did the song Jesus Take the Wheel come on anytime?
I couldn't tell the difference or what was going on. I just heard like because it sounds. I just knew it was Jesus music because it sounded good until they were talking about like a dude's voice is like singing about his hands washing over him or something like that, and I'm like, oh, is it gay? No, we're not. This is not a gay song. This is definitely a Jesus song. Got me excited as a kid because when I first heard it, I was like, oh, it's like finally gay music, and then I was like, no, they're not on board.
If you listen to a lot of modern Christian music, if you change God to just Him, they're very close in romance stuff. It's weird.
Oh, 100%. It's so gay. It's very gay.
No, it's interesting.
They're not hiding it very well.
No.
Okay. I don't follow Justin Bieber because I'm an adult, but I do go check on his Instagram. And the shit when he talks about God is pretty gay.
Right.
Like he's in love, and I understand. Like you're in love with your, but like the whole like it's very gay. There's a lot of touching involved and
laying hands.
yeah, just it's
Opening
very
yourself.
gay.
Yeah. It's,
Speaking in tongues. Amen.
Just when he really touches you.
well, it kind of explains their obsession with the gays. I don't know if you've seen that.
The gays.
The gay, yes, they always put the gays in front of it. It's like the Twitter. Like you don't. It doesn't work. The Twitter, the gays, right?
The Twitter. Who says the Twitter?
Each says the
People over
Twitter.
60, they're on the Twitter.
Each says the Twitter and on Facebook.
It's like the 405 in LA.
Yeah,
There shouldn't be the in front of a freeway name. Like it's a unique LA thing. But Mike Huckabee has declared the gays the biggest national security threat to the U.S.
That's my copy.
Seriously.
But no, there's this weird obsession with the right and with Christianity, specifically around the gays and what we're going to do to destroy society. But it makes sense if you're repressing it.
Yeah, definitely. You're just more fascinated or jealous. I mean, I'm kind of just like, I don't know why people are all like obsessed with what we do.
Straight people think way more about gay sex than the gays do.
I know they do.
Well, like one time, there was a time where this older woman came up to Kayla and I were in the grocery store and we're holding hands. We're obviously gay. We're obviously together. And she came up to us and like straight up asked us if we were sisters because there was so much love. Specifically because there's so much love between us.
Wow.
That we have to be sisters. And it was just like very weird to know that like she'd rather us be, you know, sisters having sex than lesbians. Like it's just like people, yeah, they get really obsessed because it's like who would go up to a stranger? Like you would never go up to what you think is a straight couple and just be like, "Are you brother and sister? You guys seem so much in love." Like that's obviously how you interact.
Or which one of you is the top?
Kayla for sure.
But you don't ask a straight couple. So which one of you is the top? Which one of you is the bottom?
On
Like
the bottom.
I mean, I think that's established.
Well, yeah.
That's why we get along so well. We can take direction.
Hashtag relationship goals.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Hashtag.
So you've relocated from the great metropolis of Sacramento.
She ran home.
Or as my sister calls it, the place hope goes to die.
Nice.
It was forever. I specifically Elk Grove. That's where it has the second home. That's where Dead Home has the second home. That's where Hope gets shot.
What's Rancho then? What's Rancho Cordova then?
Non-existent.
Oh.
But you relocated to Southern California. Is there a difference in the gay scene and the lesbian scene down there than up here that you noticed?
I mean,
Or could I get laid down there?
could you get laid down there?
Oh,
Yeah. Of course. I don't know. I don't really like have friends, so I can't really tell you. Because okay, so I knew I was probably more in the scene when I was younger, like in my 20s, because I would, you're in the scene then. Like I'm 30 now. Like I shouldn't be in the scene. I can't be doing that shit anymore. Like getting fucked up on a Tuesday. No. No, this is past my bedtime now. It's different down there because up here, you have the Bay Area gays, so you're kind of you have to figure that out, because the Bay gays are kind of it's a real thing. They're like the L word lesbians on a budget, right? And then Sacramento is the hipster-ish kind of gays, and then they have in each community you have your activist gays, which is on another level of shit. And then in LA is the same thing, but everyone is fucking attractive and dresses nice, and it's just it's weird. Everything's for the gram, it feels like. So it's the scene there. I don't know it very well because I'm not in it, and I just hang out and do comedy. I don't really I'm not yay. I'm tired. I go to Pride for the concerts. That's pretty much all I go for.
Well, and it's one of the reasons when they bring the older groups down, you're TLC is my jam.
Oh yeah, no, San Diego Pride, aka the TLC concert, was fucking fantastic. It was amazing. I know I should have been there to be oh yeah, I'm gay, this is fun, but I was I was only there for TLC. I have my TLC t-shirt and everything. It's been a dream since I was 10 years old.
What's your song?
What's my
song? Waterfalls.
No, I really liked Fan Mail. Fan Mail was my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, because I felt like they were talking to me and they really wanted to be my friend. And it was I don't know, I really connected. I really like the Fan Mail album a lot. And then Crazy Sexy Cool, because I had a huge crush on T-Boz. I was totally a lesbian, so it's the haircut.
We all thought T-Boz wasn't lesbian, but then she.
That's why I think I liked her. That's when you're a baby gay at that age, in the 90s, you kind of just attach to anything that you think might remotely be gay. And then you're just maybe that's, I don't know, it's kindred spirits almost. You don't know exactly what it is, because I didn't realize I was gay. I was just oh, I liked that. And then growing up, I'm very gay. That's why. Those are hints.
She had the deepest voice, so I was yeah.
Yeah. She was she was the sexy part. And then Chili was the cool, and Crazy was Left Eye. Right? Isn't that
later on.
Yeah, but no, when they named the album,
Yes.
I watched a lot of VH1 behind the scenes. That was very much my childhood too.
So kind of her journal was that.
Years.
No, but I think you bring up the thing about, attaching to something, even though you don't know kind of what it means for you when you're younger, right? So you attach and you're oh, I really like this person, but it's not necessarily because you're gay. You don't recognize that. So there's signs. Were there other signs for you?
About being gay?
Yeah, before you came out?
No, because I was pretty... I didn't have time. I was a golfer. I was too busy being an Asian kid and a golfer. There was no sexuality and dating or having any type of that. It wasn't allowed. It wasn't in my brain. I was a really good Asian kid until I hit college, and then I became gay, and then I didn't become gay. That's when I came out, and that's when shit went downhill because I was oh, I'm free. But yeah, no, I didn't have time until then. All my friends thought I was asexual because they just couldn't picture me. Okay, now it's an insult now that I think about it, but they couldn't picture me being sexually active, I guess.
Well,
at all.
Yeah.
No, at all. Because I was always playing golf and I never cared about my looks. I never cared about, and that's how you determine sexuality is about your looks. And so since I didn't care about that, and all I cared about was golf, and so it was just like it never occurred to me. But there's like certain things that I did like T-balls, and you know, and then like in K-pop groups, like there's certain like group members. That's the new shit. I feel so old, and I'm not old. That's bullshit. But I feel so old now because everything's just like advanced so much.
Speaking of which, since you are a former golf professional, what do you think about the whole Tiger Woods winning the Masters?
I'm trying to get me in trouble. Someone's gonna bring this shit up. Fuck. As a golfer, it was pretty cool to see. You always want to see Tiger win because it means great things for golf and it's entertaining. Like you don't see that anymore. So that was cool. I was really bummed that I didn't place a bet because I saw the fucking article where this dude placed an $84,000 bet that Tiger was gonna win the Masters, and he got paid $1.2 million. And he never bet before, but I saw the article when he placed the bet, and like there was some little voice in me was like, you should throw down $50. Like I don't bet because like my mom had it. It's an Asian thing. Like it's in our genes to like have gambling problems. So I was like, I just don't want to because I'm gonna like it too much. I know I'm gonna like it too much, and so like I was like, put $50. Like that's nothing. And then he fucking won. So I was like happy and pissed at the same time for selfish reasons. But I think like. I'm not gonna root for the guy. Like he's very like, and if we're gonna get political about it, it's like he's very like, kind of. He's not like pro-Trump, but he kind of is pro-Trump. Like he's a really rich athlete. Like he's a really rich human being when it comes down to it. He doesn't give a fuck about anybody else, and he's like kind of a dick. And like every story, even before like he like got caught with like all his affairs, he's kind of an asshole. And it's just like. As a person, I don't want to root for him. I just don't really have an opinion. I was just pissed I didn't place a bet. And it was entertaining. I guess if you just take it at that value, but it doesn't really, like it says more about our country where people are like, he's the thing that brought us together. It's like, you guys forgot he was a complete fucking asshole and he never apologized? Like, we're just going to let that shit, we're going to let that shit go. He only just harmed a woman, so that's, who gives a fuck? Like... But it was entertaining.
I'm more mad at you. You and Becca are 30. Oh my god, dog. What?
We got more than a decade.
I was 15. No. God, dog. Y'all turned 5. I was getting close to being of age. That's.
So we're at the point of the show for the 4 questions. What is your go-to munchie?
Lately, because I'm trying to be healthy. This is so fucking embarrassing. I get like those like pre-packaged salad bags because I'm like, oh, this is healthy, but then I eat the whole fucking thing, and it's not very healthy, and I'm not allowed to eat like too much fiber, so it's like really bad for my stomach. So yeah, just salad because I can't fucking learn that it's not good for me.
I need to do what you do.
And what is the worst advice you've gotten?
Eat a lot of fiber because that shit put me in the hospital. Yeah, because I had this freak thing with my small intestine. Like I was born with a pouch, and it was like I think it was like the 7th case reported or something. I woke up, there was hella doctors, and they were way too happy about me being in surgery. And yeah, they had to remove part of my small intestine. They're like, the reason like fiber is bad for me because it builds up. My body doesn't digest it, so like it clogs up my intestine. If I'm not careful, like it could die. That part can die. And so yeah, I just because you're supposed to be healthy, and like there was that time like I was an athlete, like golf's a sport, so I had to like take care of my body. I was like working out, I was eating healthy, and next thing I knew, I had to fucking go to the hospital. So know your body. I think listen to your body, and that's not the advice. The worst advice was eating fiber.
I've never heard a better excuse for just making like pancakes and ice cream and shit your go-to.
Oh yeah, after surgery they told me because I still couldn't eat very well, and they were saying that I might only have to have processed food for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Like only like chicken broth, saltines, like just really.
Yeah.
But like that doesn't make like it makes me feel bad. Like
Yeah,
my body
yeah.
doesn't run well on that. And so I had like an emotional breakdown, and then I just ate salad for like 2 weeks because I refused to listen to the doctors, and I still don't listen. But I can eat normal food.
That's good.
There's not a lot of it.
Something everybody should try once in their life.
After listening to sage, everyone should sage themselves.
Yeah.
I think that's something I've been now that I'm in LA. I believe in sage. Been saging my fucking apartment, been saging myself. Because it's just like whatever you believe in. I believe in energy. I believe in energy, and I think like cleansing that is always good. So I think it's something to try.
Nice.
Maybe crystals. I don't know. Definitely sage though.
And lastly, what are you grateful for?
That's 420. I'm grateful for weed. I'm very grateful for weed.
Amen.
And the cookies. Very grateful for weed. I think that's like my brand for this show. Every time I come on, just weed and cookies.
You know, that's why I make the cookies, is people get so happy with them.
They're really great.
So you should all come out to the show because you always get cookies. So if anybody wants to follow you, if they want to see you perform, where do we go?
All my handle stuff, I'm mostly on Instagram and Facebook, but it's at @WellHongD. And then I'll be in Seattle in May, and then what day is it? May 420. I've been driving so much because like now in SoCal, like everywhere is far.
Yeah.
So it's just you're in the car all the time and you have no sense of anything but traffic.
Get used to that.
It's been miserable. But then I'm actually gonna be back in Sacramento at the end of May. I'm featuring at Last Unlimited. So that's the last weekend. So come out, say hi.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
show.
you
I'm
for
so
having
glad
me.
you drove up, and it was wonderful. Thank you. Coming up to the stage next, we have Robert Berry.
Woo!
Such a dad thing to do. We're gonna show. Thank you for watching on YouTube.
You guys are so awesome. Thank you.
Out.
Yay!
We have swag for people
Bad
on the way
chicks
out.
on top.